Section 3.7, Machines. So the last few sections of this chapter are short, but they focus on some relatively important ideas for the idea of using things that we've learned in terms of work and energy to actually do stuff in real life. So one thing that we use for that is what's known as a machine. And a machine is just a device that's used for multiplying forces or changing the direction of a force. One simple machine is a lever. And a lever has a pivot point that's known as a fulcrum. Right, so here's your lever. Okay? Actually, this is the fulcrum, and then this is the lever. Right, so because you have a long distance on this side, right, a greater distance means less force, and you could lift the other side. For the smaller side, less distance means you would need a greater force. So what this basically implies in terms of a lever is that a smaller person could lift something heavy. And you could lift something heavy by just using a simple machine like a lever and a fulcrum. By adjusting the position of where that fulcrum lies, right? So adjusting its position along this bar, okay, you're adjusting how much force you would need to lift it. Okay? The closer it gets to this edge, the less force you're going to need over here to lift this object. Machines, like levers, let even the smallest people, the weakest people, do things like lift up a car to change a tire. Another example of a simple machine that's very common is a pulley, whereas levers work by multiplying and or dividing forces, right? So making forces less or more depending on the position of the fulcrum and the length of the lever. Pulleys work by changing the direction of a force. So it is generally easier, if you're standing over something and you try to lift it straight upwards, that's going to be a challenge. But if you throw that rope or something around a pulley and you want to lift it by pulling down on it, that's a lot easier because you can use your body weight and gravity to pull down on the rope. And so pulleys allow you to change the direction of a force to make something easier. Levers allow you to multiply or divide forces to make something easier. But in general, machines are just objects that are used for multiplying forces or changing the directions that you have to apply a force.